You're listening to Heroes in the Moment. What's up, heroes? I'm Michael.
And I'm Nathan.
And today, latest superhero news, part 18.
We rolling, baby.
We getting it. So we have a lot of news today, actually, surprisingly. It's quite a bit, quite heavy, especially since we missed the news last week because of the Thanksgiving holiday.
Happy Thanksgiving.
Happy previous Thanksgiving. Merry Christmas now.
Merry Christmas.
But now we're paving the way. We're bringing that stuff in and the new stuff in, so it's quite a bit. So before we get to MCU news, because that's where we're going to spend the majority of time on, we got a lot of good stuff. So stay tuned for that because we got a lot of stuff that you guys may not even know for MCU news. But we're going to start out with Star Wars today, a little bit different, and talk about the new news. Just one piece of Star Wars news, and then we're going to go to DC, then we're going to go to Marvel, Sony, and then MCU news that we got the huge news in.
All right.
So first off, Star Wars. We have a new rumor, you sent me this, that Kathleen Kennedy will apparently be replaced after the Indiana Jones 5.
Which
is an absolute W.
We
do not like Kathleen Kennedy.
W's in the chat.
Absolutely.
She doesn't care about the stories. She cares about money.
Exactly. So completely good news. And hopefully, I think me and you both agree, Dave Filoni to take over Star Wars.
Yeah.
100%.
I mean, he's like in line anyway.
Yes.
You know? And even if he
George Lucas would choose him.
Yeah. If you see like the projects he's produced versus the projects she's produced.
Exactly.
Just check it out.
So many different comparisons.
Tales of the Jedi, Mando,
Right, for sure.
He doesn't have a perfect track record, but he knows what he's doing.
He knows what he's doing when it comes to Star Wars and feeding the fans. So
yeah,
I would love to see Dave Filoni take it. Of course, this is a rumor. It could be false. I hope it's not a rumor. I hope it's true.
Yeah.
But
get out there.
Seeing Dave Filoni to take over, maybe if they could do like a James Gunn over at DC and do a co-thing with Dave Filoni and Jon Favreau. And I'd be completely okay with that.
Jon Favreau would be great.
Jon Favreau is
a great
with
producer.
that. And then just put in, what's her name? Howard.
Bryce Dallas
Howard as like a pair director.
Yeah.
I would love that. And I think they would thrive in Star Wars realm. So that's anything to add about Kathleen Kennedy.
I mean, just big fat old W with this news right here.
All right. So to move on to DC, James Gunn reportedly has 10-year plan ready to go.
Fire.
Which will include different movies, series, and other animated projects that all accumulate into one universe.
That's W.
Yes, and I hope he releases that slate in the next coming months.
I know.
I really, really hope so.
I don't know if they would.
Maybe not the whole thing,
10
but like
years,
a first phase.
Like a first phase.
Like a phase. Like give me
I just wonder what he's starting with. That's what I wonder.
I would just say Batman. That was our start. And then continue to build off that.
I mean, but this is great. For years we said they need a 10-year plan, Now, and it encourages me to hear not just live action, but animated stuff too.
Yes.
Because their previous animated stuff is some of my favorite content.
It's so good.
The Long Halloweens especially, man.
Long Halloweens.
So hard.
The series, Batman the Animated Series, phenomenal. Under the Red Hood.
I watched it the other day.
Death
in the Family,
Flashpoint Paradox.
Yeah, The Dark Knight Returns. Part 1 and
some of the best possible stuff ever is animated from DC. So I would love to get some of that into an interconnected universe made up of movie series and other things, and it would just be beautiful. It's very great news to hear. Man. I just hope it's a good 10-year plan, and we don't have like a Lobo movie over here, and then a Man-Bat series or something stupid.
I know. They got to start with the main characters.
Start with
Superman, Batman, Wonder Woman. Branch out.
Branch it out. Bring in the mains, build to the Justice League, then expand.
All right.
That's what we want.
Facts.
I hope James Gunn's got that under control.
I'm sure he does.
In the plan, all right? So next up is Constantine 2, apparently still in the works, but I would not be shocked if this gets booted. But Constantine 2, and it allegedly will be rated R.
All right.
So that's
I can vibe with that. The first one, it has a decent plot. Obviously, some of the CGI is not good, right? Because it's early 2000s. But I mean, with the stuff they have now and Keanu coming back.
Yes, which we know he loves. He wants to.
I think this would be 10 times better than the original, if I'm being honest.
I think it would be. I don't know how good it would be, but I think it'd be better than the original. And it's not a lot to say.
Yeah, that's not a lot to say. It's not a great movie. Some people worship it for some reason.
Really
and
weird.
I understand. I think it's decent, but
yeah.
I think it'll be better. So that's a W too.
Yes, it's good news as well. Next up is Nikolja Coaster Waldaw. I can't pronounce his name. No idea. is apparently going to be playing Reverse Flash in the new Flash movie.
Did I send you this one?
You did send me that.
I remember looking at his face, and his face does look very Reverse Flashy.
It does.
If I'm
yeah.
being honest,
yeah. I have no idea how to pronounce his name.
Barry Thawne.
Barry Thawne, but I don't know. It keeps making me like really want Michael Fassbender because I think he would be the perfect Reverse Flash.
Dude, Anthony. What's his name?
Anthony Starr.
Anthony Starr. Yeah.
I feel like
he'd be so good.
He'd be good, but then again, like he's just so big.
Yeah.
And,
Well, everyone's gonna also
himself.
see him as Homelander
exactly.
too.
So
at the same time,
he carries himself in a different way. That I'd rather have somebody else who could like show a different light.
I think Fassbender would give a really good empathetic side, to his villain.
So, but who knows? I don't even know who this guy is. So he could kill it. Like he could absolutely blow it out of the water.
I mean, he looks good. I haven't seen him in any projects.
I have not either. So
honest.
I'd be okay with seeing him as Reverse Flash. Of course, Reverse Flash I would say is a top 3 DC villain. So to see him,
he's goated.
I think it'd be great to see that.
Wait, top 3
DC villain.
Joker, obviously
one for sure.
I mean, you got villains like I don't know, Scarecrow, Bane.
I would put Joker 1, Lex Luthor 2, Reverse Flash 3.
Really?
100%.
Dude, Batman has so many good other villains.
He does.
Though.
Reverse Flash Man's a
That's
goated
tough.
villain.
That's tough.
That's a goated villain.
That's tough.
But
tough.
I would say that for sure.
All right.
Next piece of news. This is not news. This is just a fan casting I saw, but I had to mention it because this is one of my favorite fan castings I've ever seen in my life.
Okay.
Because it's so good and it fits so well.
Okay.
For a fan casting in DC.
I'm nervous now.
And that being Giancarlo Esposito as Mr. Freeze in the Batman 2.
Ooh.
That is music to my ears.
Yeah.
He would perfect.
Mr. Freeze. Bro, he would fit Victor Freeze so
perfectly.
Well. They're both cold people.
Yes.
Calculating people.
But still have an empathetic side.
Yeah.
I think that's
I can
a
see
perfect
it. I can
casting.
see it right now. Yeah.
Like, I think that's an absolutely perfect casting.
I can see it.
This is, of course, fan casting. This is just something I saw on TikTok scrolling as Giancarlo Esposito in like a fan-made Mr. Freeze costume. And I was like, dude, that's what we need.
Yeah.
Matt Reeves, contact Esposito right now.
Right now. I know. That fits better, honestly, than a Professor X role. You know? He's just... dude, he's such a cool villain. I just finished playing through Arkham City. Obviously, Mr. Freeze has a cool role. I can see him right now in that suit.
Dude, 100%.
Call him up.
He would for sure. Like, that's one of my favorite fan castings because I think that'd be the perfect Mr. Freeze.
Yeah.
Because he's a villain.
He's got the voice.
He plays the villain. He's got the voice. He's got the empath. He can play the empathetic side very well. And I think it'd be an absolutely amazing casting.
Okay.
So Matt Reeves, call Giancarlo Esposito right now. Please, because I have a feeling he would say yes. So
yeah, he probably
would. Next up, to make the transition over to Marvel Sony news, because the Sonyverse is apparently trying to expand itself, even though it should just die.
Yeah.
Being apparently you sent me this as well. A new series is going to be, and they're going to plan several different series on Amazon, starting with Silk Spider Society.
Yeah.
What do you think?
I don't know too much about Silk the character.
Yeah, no.
If I'm being honest, I do think it's cool to see other characters from the Spider-Verse getting their own stuff. The fact that they're, producing it with Amazon gives me more hope than if it was just a Sony thing.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? Like, Amazon recently has been on such a hot streak with some of their original stuff they've produced, aka specifically The Boys. Rings of Power is pretty solid, but I think it'll be a little more darker in nature given who Amazon is.
Right.
And I don't know. Like I said, I don't know that much about the character, but I feel like they can just do whatever the crap they want.
Exactly. And that's a cool concept and things, but at the same time, I'm like, the Sonyverse is not necessary anymore. Yeah. And it's just... After such bad things it's been doing.
Like mid, anti-hero movies,
I wouldn't even consider most of them mid at this point. I'd just consider them awful.
Just bad.
Just bad.
Venom 1
was decent.
Maybe mid.
Maybe
somewhere
decent,
in between
somewhere
those lines.
Okay. Venom Let There Be Carnage is gosh awful.
Yeah, that's not mid.
And
Morbius, unfortunately,
of course, the best movie of all time
is
also gosh awful. So
gosh awful.
I just don't have a lot of faith in the Sonyverse.
I don't either, man. I don't think Sony knows what they're doing.
No,
if I'm being honest,
I don't either. Unless they're collaborating with the MCU, and that's it.
Like Homecoming.
Exactly. Homecoming, Far From Home, No Way Home. That's the only movies.
No Way Home felt the most Disney out of all of them.
It did, but at the same time, it was great. So I don't know.
But Amazon helping produce. Hopefully, it won't be complete garbage.
I know. I just don't want another end credit scene to Morbius. With the Vulture coming in. It's like, I think this has something to do with Spider-Man. I think we should maybe work together. They don't even know who they are.
I think we should team up. Like, bro, why are you meeting at
What do you-
3:30 a.m. in freaking Nevada, out in the middle of cactuses?
That was the stupidest
Just-
end credit scene I've
It
ever
was
seen.
so
in my time.
dumb.
Like,
And then Jared
so
Leto
bad.
was just close up his face,
And he was
staring.
like,
He's like, They was not in the same room.
So
It was
horrible.
terrible.
Oh, so horrible.
Uh.
Anyway, all right, now to move on to some hype news. This is large news.
Okay, hype.
This may be the first time a lot of you have heard it, maybe even yourself. And that being so MCU news. We're going to
Okay.
start off with a rumor leaked plot of Avengers Kang Dynasty.
Okay.
So I have the full leaked plot here. I'm gonna tell you all
right.
about.
Give
And
it,
honestly,
give
it sounds kind of interesting. So first off and it actually shows the interconnectedness of Phase 4 that it's been building up to, which is hype. All right, so first off, it says that Miss Marvel's bangle and Shang-Chi's rings are connected like we did theorize. And
they
that
have to be.
Kang wants both. He wants both of their powers. And that there will be several Kang variants in this movie involved with that. So first off, the movie is going to start out, apparently, of course, take all this with a grain of salt because this is completely rumors.
Okay.
The movie's going to start out with Doctor Strange and Clea facing off against Kang in the opening scene in another universe.
Maybe that's where they went at the end of Multiverse
Yes,
of Madness.
that's very possible. But they lose and narrowly escape to Earth 616. And in doing so, they find out about they see the threat of Kang and they need to assemble a multiversal protection team similar to what happened in What If, like the Guardians of the Multiverse. Only this is a multiversal protection team. Not necessarily the Avengers, but a multiversal protection team. And this team will allegedly consist of Captain Marvel.
Okay.
Sam's Captain America.
Okay.
Deadpool.
Whoa,
Yeah,
Deadpool.
Deadpool. Yes, Deadpool. Yeah. Loki.
Loki. Wait, Loki?
Loki. Yeah.
How?
Yeah.
Like a past version, I
Probably
guess?
the one from the variants,
Loki.
that variant. Mr. Fantastic
Okay.
and Ant-Man.
What?
So yes.
That sounds like the strangest team we've ever seen put together.
but a dope one.
Deadpool, Ant-Man, past Loki,
Yes.
Captain Marvel,
Captain America.
Captain
Sam's
America.
Captain America. It's gonna be hype.
no Doctor Strange. But
Well, no, Doctor Strange is the one who's assembling this team.
oh, so he's the
involved.
main guy over
Yes,
it.
yes.
Okay.
Yes. So, all right. So,
How's Ant-Man fitting there?
I know,
The
no,
dude
no.
was in prison
Yeah.
in San Francisco
and
2 months
this
ago.
apparently will serve as kind of like the 616 Illuminati. And
Okay.
this will, they will attempt to protect Shang-Chi from Kang. And Shang-Chi will work with them as well.
Okay.
And then on another side, Sam goes and brings the Avengers together and starts his own new Avengers team.
Okay.
Outside of the multiversal team.
Okay.
And this will consist of, he does this
Okay.
with Scott, Ant-Man.
All right.
And they bring in Wasp,
Wasp,
Kate Bishop,
Kate Bishop,
Thor,
Thor.
into this. But at this point, the multiverse shatters and they will have to work with Daredevil and Spider-Man
no way.
to protect Miss Marvel from Kang. And this side.
Well, she's a minor.
She is a minor. So
I
they
mean,
gotta
like
protect her.
legally, she's a kid. You know what I'm saying? So
Yes.
Kang better not do
Yes.
anything.
So similar to Thanos
That
after
seems like
Infinity
a
Stones,
weird
but
Avengers team.
it does. But we
Like,
have to remember how much
who's
there is. So
It's who? Tell me the team. It's Ant-Man,
Wasp,
and
Sam's Captain America,
Okay. Wasp,
Kate Bishop,
Kate
so
Bishop.
Hawkeye,
Yeah.
Thor, and Daredevil and Spider-Man.
Okay.
Yeah.
Does that leave out any big heroes? I mean, obviously minus
Hulk.
Guardians. Yeah.
Hulk, but it's been reported.
She-Hulk, maybe.
Well, I'll get to that in just a
Alright.
second, but it's been reported
Wanda.
that Hulk will not be in Kang Dynasty, but will be in Secret Wars.
L.
No,
L.
not L, because they're saying what's going to be happening during Kang Dynasty is World War Hulk, and that will be the project between Kang Dynasty and Secret Wars.
Bro, that is way too much going on in the world.
That's
From
a
being
lot.
honest, that's a lot of threats. Going
It's
on
a
at
lot.
once.
It's a
Okay,
lot.
so maybe that would explain, like She-Hulk's
Yes.
absence and some of the
Yes.
other major
Yes.
characters. In
So
that
the next
movie.
up, She-Hulk will be in it. I'll say that again.
Well,
This is all theories.
Captain America's supposed to be in, that movie too. Apparently,
Yes, apparently. So we'll
that
see
might
how
be-
it correlates. So, and then after this, they're protecting Miss Marvel from Kang, and then Kang recruits his variants from other, universes and other things. But he also recruits his variant from the 616 universe, being Iron Lad, played by Ty Simmons or whatever, who was Harley Keener. Because in the comics,
Harley.
Iron Lad is Kang's
Who is
variant.
Harley
So
Keener?
the boy from Iron Man 3.
What? You telling
Mhm.
me that he's gonna join up with Kang?
Because he's one of Kang's variants.
Is he actually?
Well, Iron Lad is in the comics, so if they make him Iron Lad, then he would probably be one of
Holy.
yes. And
Bruh.
also, Harley Keener is apparently confirmed to be in Armor Wars. So there's that as well.
Really?
Yes, and to become
He'll
Iron
be
Lad in
old
that.
by now. That's
He's
crazy.
he's like 20 or so in
Yeah.
that age. But on this side, Harley Quinn, before he's recruited by Kang, is working with War Machine and Ironheart
okay.
on another set.
That makes sense.
And then Kang, brings in Iron Lad. And then somewhere in this, Kang kidnaps Miss Marvel, and then Daredevil recruits She-Hulk to kind of help with this.
Oh, okay. Because
correlation.
they already know each other.
Yes.
If you feel.
And then this is going to be a 3-hour long film, but no
Deserves
involvement from the Guardians of the Galaxy or Eternals in this movie. So
I think that's honestly a good move.
yes, until Secret Wars.
They're saving the whole big final
Yes.
showdown with everybody.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. So that's just the rumored plot link. Of course, that's just kind of a little synopsis.
I can get behind with that. That
it's
kind of
interesting.
I kind of dig with it.
Yeah.
I guess the question would be, why does Kang need the rings?
The rings and the bangle.
Yeah, like what can they do
What is that?
together?
That's the question. Like, of course, it'll be important, but
I feel,
we'll have to figure
I feel
it out.
bad for Miss Marvel because she's just now figuring out her powers. She's a 16-year-old girl,
Right.
and you got like one of the most powerful dudes in the galaxy coming after you.
But I did like the plot synopsis and how it connects all the shows together.
Deadpool.
Except for Moon Knight, which I'll talk about here in a few minutes.
And WandaVision too.
And Wanda,
There's
where's
no
WandaVision?
And WandaVision.
And I'll talk about that.
WandaVision would have to be in there somewhere.
Yes,
man.
yes. Which I'll talk about that in just a sec. Well, I'll
Okay.
talk about that right now.
All right.
So they're saying that there
Go
will be,
ahead.
there are multiple teams going on this movie, and then there will be another subset of teams that is going to be the West Coast Avengers that brings in, and this is going to be a team consisting of Wasp, Hercules, who was introduced in Love and Thunder.
I thought Wasp was already on the other team.
She is, but she may go off and then spawn the West Coast Avengers to protect that side of the world. And in this, like I said, Hercules, Wasp,
all right.
White Vision, Moon Knight, and I think the other one was, let me see, I can't remember who the other one, but Moon Knight going to be involved with that particular team. So the West Coast Avengers are huge in the comics. So to see them, kind of create this and kind of
White Vision.
The other one is Mantis. Mantis is going to be, that's where Mantis is going to be involved.
So they'll have a Guardian, but not the Guardians.
Not the Guardians of the Galaxy. But that's, again, just a rumor. And all of that was just rumor. But honestly, it's kind of an intriguing plot.
Yeah.
It makes me definitely feel interested for this movie. So I'm excited.
All right. We just need a confirmed director, right?
We got the confirmed director. I think is going to be the director of Shang-Chi. Is going to be the director of Kang Dynasty. So, yes. And then apparently Ryan Coogler is going to do Secret
That's why
Wars.
Shang-Chi is going to have such a big role in it.
Yes.
He's biased.
Yes. So we'll see what's going to go on.
Get somebody else. Though.
All right. So next up on other news, that was a pretty big piece of news there.
Huge.
But on other news, we have the Thunderbolts villain is reported to be either Sentry or Hyperion, both like Superman kind of characters, which is cool to see them in the MCU, but does not make a bit of sense for a street level team like Thunderbolts.
Yeah, it does not at all. And apparently, according to that report too, they're going to be nerfing the character's power.
They'd have to.
I think they said it's going to be around what's his face's power in Eternals.
Icarus,
like somewhere around that. But like, a street team should have no business beating.
No, it doesn't make that much sense.
An entity like that.
And they're also looking for a big actor to play this role, like Ryan Gosling or Alexander Skarsgård. So.
I mean, if you take the original Thunderbolts, you don't need a villain because they are
exactly. Well, you need a villain, but you need a not that big of a threat of a villain.
I know.
You need a street level villain.
I mean, like these are people doing questionable people doing questionable things.
Like, you know who I think would have been a great villain for Thunderbolts movie?
Who?
Purple Man. I think that would have been a good one.
Bring back freaking David Tennant, man. He was so good in Jessica Jones.
That would be a good villain for Thunderbolts or something like that kind of threat. Not,
and just in general, they gotta get him in the MCU.
Yeah, not Sentry or Hyperion. That would just
I mean, theoretically, they could wipe. They could destroy him with the second man. Mm-hmm. It's just, I don't know how I feel. I don't like it. I really don't. From what I've heard, there's gonna be division within the team, and then they're gonna have to go against a character like that. It doesn't make sense.
It doesn't make sense, and I don't know. I'm really worried for Thunderbolts at this point. Like, I have I want it to do well, I want it to be good, but I just have a worry factor there because of what it is. Yeah. Like, if it was James Gunn doing this movie, I would have very confident because he's really good at making these kind of characters
these
pop.
Team ups, But
I don't know how I feel about it. So we'll see what's going on.
I don't like it.
We'll see. All right, next up is a piece of news that was rumored and I think almost confirmed a couple weeks ago, but we just didn't get to touch it. And that being Mobius, of course, Owen Wilson, our GOAT, one of my favorite side characters in the MCU, to be in Deadpool 3.
Okay, Deadpool 3?
Which makes, if you think about it, makes absolutely total sense.
Yeah.
Because if Deadpool rides in the multiverse and he's not supposed to, of course the TVA is going to get involved. And who better to run it than Mobius, right?
Oh my goodness. Listen, I don't know if my body can contain seeing both Ryan Reynolds and Owen Wilson
and Hugh Jackman.
Room. That's a lot of like beautiful.
That's a lot of beautiful
men.
Faces.
Yeah,
that's a lot of.
If I'm being
faces.
honest,
I mean,
I don't know if I can take it.
I don't know if I can take it either.
Mobius is one of the best side characters in the MCU.
Right, for sure.
Everyone loves him.
Oh, got to. I mean, we just got to see him on that jet ski, right?
Facts.
I mean, that's all we need.
I know,
right?
Kill the man to jet ski.
So I think that makes total sense. And not only that, another big player who I'd love to see his face with these guys being rumored Channing Tatum's Gambit to also possibly appear in this movie.
But that would make perfect sense. And dude, Channing Tatum hasn't aged a day.
No,
either.
He hasn't.
Like that man
he can still play a great Gambit
of his life. He needs to be Gambit.
And
again.
that's the thing. Like he was full on cast. The movie was in production, development. Like it was going to come out in 2 years. They were getting ready to start filming, and then it gets scrapped, man. And Channing Tatum's literally the perfect Gambit.
Yeah.
And I would love to see him in that role. And I think a Gambit, Deadpool, and Wolverine together would make so much sense.
Yeah.
And they're three
so much
very
money.
popular, three very popular mutants all together would be beautiful music score.
Yeah.
So I would love to see that in the coming years. Next up is Chris Hemsworth. You sent me this, said he would return as Thor as long as it's a new take to the character and new take,
like
similar to
new direction
because they did that with Thor and Thor the Dark World. They had that connection. And then they reinvented it with Ragnarok and Love and Thunder.
Yeah, and then it went downhill after that.
Yeah, so we need another reinvention. And honestly, I want like a Logan kind of character. Like the Logan movie kind of Thor.
See,
that's what I want.
I want like a Odin kind of level character. An older, wiser one, like you said, bringing up somebody else. Just like with X-23.
Yes, I would like a darker, more gritty version of Thor. Like call the movie Odin's Son or something cool like that.
Yeah, Odin's Son, where he's older. He's obviously the king, but he's like at war with another country, and he dies.
And he's serious, and he
dies or something.
He's wanting to kill people and like more darker than he's ever been. That's what I want. I mean, I think that would go hard.
I think you have to go there. If I'm being honest, like you said, Thor 1 and 2, they're very similar as far as his personality goes. Age of Ultron, the first Avengers, he's exact same.
Yes.
Ragnarok was kind of the peak to where we see now, right? With balancing his character. Obviously, Thor Love and Thunder was a huge downgrade. But it's not, you can't build back up. You have to go somewhere different now.
Like, I want the Infinity War Thor back.
Yeah.
Like I want the Infinity War Thor, but darker and older.
But darker, yeah.
Yes, that's what I want.
Not in the revenge, sense, but I want to see him take just full accountability for everything. After Love and Thunder, he's just sitting there and the Guardians and they're about to die.
Give us Odinson. Give us Odinson. I'm calling it right now. That needs to be the title.
Just Odinson. The title, yeah.
Just Odinson.
That be his final movie.
Yes. Like have him being Kang Dynasty and Secret Wars, then put out Thor 5 being Odinson, and then boom.
Wow.
Beautiful.
And then end. And
that would end. And either end with him dying or just reigning over Asgard, which I think his death would be more beneficial.
Yeah.
At this time. But
man, that would be perfect. That really would.
That would be beautiful.
Like I said, you gotta do something different. We've seen it all before. Go somewhere we haven't seen.
Somewhere different.
Like Logan.
All right. Next up, we got Blade. Has apparently found its director, and that being Jan Demange, who is a relatively new director. Hasn't done a lot of big projects, and the only thing that anybody might would know is he did Lovecraft Country.
Okay.
Never heard of it personally.
I've heard of it, but I haven't seen it.
Yeah. So he did that, and honestly, like if you're getting a no-name new director, I'm down. Maybe they're talented. Maybe they're good.
If I'm Mahershala Ali, I'm very nervous at this point.
Yeah.
I mean, Blade's a big character. He's gonna draw people in just because of his darker nature. The MCU fans who like that. But pairing these accomplished actors with brand new directors, I don't think is a good idea.
Right.
So I'm kind of worried. To be honest, I think this is definitely up in the air.
Nothing to blame you at all. All right, so next up, rumor is, more so that she expressed interest in playing this character, and that being Anya Diop to play Storm in the MCU. This, of course, if you don't know who Anya Diop is she plays Starfire over in the Titans in the DC universe. And honestly, I think she would be a good Storm.
She did a good job. They gotta go with somebody young,
yes.
And I know she is. But like you said, we gotta have Storm. At some point, so we need somebody to play Storm. Yes. I think she'll do just a fine job. I got not too much else to say.
I would completely okay with that. Especially Storm's such a cool character, and I feel like in the future of Marvel, like after Secret Wars and the next saga, I feel like Storm would have a pivotal.
Yeah, that's one of the X-Men are going to take
right,
over.
and she'll be a pivotal role in that.
Yeah.
So I think that might be a good casting as well.
All right.
Next up, and I think this is a W, and that being that Jenna Ortega might be playing White Tiger in Daredevil Born Again.
That'd be a W.
It would be a W.
Maybe the only... I have a hard time seeing her as old enough. I know White Tiger is like a young character, you know,
Yes.
like high school to
Yes.
maybe like 20. And that's, I think, what Jenna Ortega...
She's like 18, 20, yeah. Somewhere in that range.
But she just looks young. She has a young looking face.
She does have a young look.
She would do well
But
in a
she's
White
a talented
Tiger.
actress.
Yeah.
She's very, very talented. So to see her in that role, and she did actually have a minor role in Iron Man 3 as like a daughter of a congressman. So
Oh, really?
if they play that off that was White Tiger the whole time, that would be beautiful.
Yeah, they could. Or they could just completely ignore it.
They could, but
You
I
know?
feel like knowing MCU, they would like acknowledge that.
Yeah.
And that would be really cool. Like,
All right.
she's White Tiger.
Yeah.
So I'd be down for that.
What's that one Spider-Man show that she's
Ultimate
in?
Spider-Man.
Yeah. She's pretty cool in that.
She's
I've been
pretty
watching
cool.
that.
So I think Jenna Ortega would be a good
I think she'd
casting.
be a good cast.
And that kind of brings me back to whenever we thought Zendaya would be White Tiger in the MCU. When
that would be a good cast.
I think
too,
that would have
but-
worked well. I think they should have gone that route. And they may still like make her
Yeah.
White Tiger. I don't know, but I think they should have gone that route. I think
Yeah.
that would have made a lot of sense. All right, next up is, and I know you'll like this news. I don't know, you may have seen it already
Okay.
anyway. And that being John Bernthal's return as Punisher in Daredevil Born Again.
No, baby.
And he apparently
Baby!
leaked it by accident, as he said in I don't know if it's interview or an Instagram post, but he said something about he is excited to work with former stunt double again in Marvel Phase 5.
Really? That's what he said?
I think he said that.
Listen,
So,
man, that is music to my ears. As great a show as Daredevil is, man.
Yes.
Punisher was always my favorite. He's one of my top 5 favorite Marvel characters. John Bernthal is one of the greatest actors, I think, out right now.
Yes.
He kills in every freaking role. And just to see a darker, character in the MCU, like, just brings me hope that we're not going to get everything Disney-fied, so... Introducing him, Daredevil is
yes.
that's what they did in the original Daredevil.
is,
They brought him in
for
season 2 for like 10 episodes. So,
and I believe it's also confirmed that Daredevil Born Again will be TVMA. So
oh,
that's also
baby!
something that's very good to hear about that.
That's so exciting, man.
It's very exciting.
That's gonna be
all right.
that's gonna
So
be
next
good.
up is this has been a theorized project that could allegedly be in development as a Marvel special, and that being the origin of King. Is it Bashinga, the first Black Panther?
Yeah,
I think that one, and apparently it's going to be played by possibly John Boyega.
really by John Boyega.
That's a rumor out there, but yeah, so it's a possible special. The first
Okay.
Black Panther when the comet of vibranium landed on Earth and
Yeah,
stuff like that.
how the nation was
Yes,
built and
how
all that.
Wakanda was created.
I like the idea. I don't know how I feel about John Boyega in that role.
Yeah,
because I always see him
very
in Star
minor
Wars.
role because it's just one and done kind of thing.
Yeah, so I don't know if I was not there, I would take that. But I mean, it does sound interesting.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm not, too hyped for that.
Nah, and that could be completely false as well. A lot
Yeah.
of this could be. Next up is a big list of possible MCU movies and series reportedly and specials reportedly in development at Marvel Studios that we have no idea about.
Okay.
So this is actually super kind of hype. So there's a lot.
All right.
The first thing
Lay it on
being
me.
is we've talked about in the past, but it's being again a lot more heavily rumored right now. That being a Scarlet Witch movie.
Okay.
Which
yeah,
we
need
expected.
that.
We do need that. I think.
I guess
well.
would it take place? You think after Multiverse of Madness?
Yes, it would take place.
I
after
wonder what
Multiverse
it'd be
of Madness,
about. I mean, she's had a whole character arc
yes.
too.
So we'll have to see what happens with that. Next up is a Man Thing special.
Mhm.
I think would work.
All right.
I'd be down with
Yeah.
that. I loved Man Thing in Werewolf by
Werewolf
Night.
by
So
Night, yeah.
to continue him in another special, I think would work really well.
Okay.
Next up is a Ghost Rider special.
We need a movie.
That's what I'm saying. I
We
would
need a
prefer
movie.
for
Yeah.
Ghost Rider instead of a special. But at the same time, if we're getting Ghost Rider, I mean, I'm hyped with just getting Ghost
That's
Rider
so
in general.
cool, dude.
So I would love that. Next up is we've been talking about a theorized Wakanda series for a while now,
Yeah.
but apparently a rumored title has arisen, and that being Midnight Angels. So
Midnight Angel.
that being about
That's the
Okoye
suit.
and the other.
That's what it's
suits.
called,
Yes.
right? Yeah.
So
Okay.
that makes sense to me.
All right.
I would be down for that.
Okay.
Next
Nakia.
up being a Nova special,
Yeah.
reportedly in
He
development.
deserves that for
He
sure.
definitely deserves that.
We need to see.
I'd be down.
I guess, yeah, then maybe they wouldn't introduce him, maybe in Guardians.
Mhm.
It maybe just be like a special and then he's in the next James Gunn led movie.
Yes, and that'd be beautiful. Next up is, this one's one of my favorite ones, a Midnight Suns series, but I think it will be a movie.
I see.
This is completely rumored, so it could be a movie. Will take place right before Kang Dynasty, being what leads into that. So Midnight Suns.
Yeah, I mean, you gotta have him in there before they fight Kang.
Exactly.
With everybody.
So that would be beautiful music to my ears.
All
Next
right.
up is Young Avengers series, which they've been building up for a while in Phase 4 now.
Yeah.
Which will also take place before Kang Dynasty, including being led by Kate Bishop as Hawkeye, of course.
All right.
Bringing in also Speed and Wiccan from, of course, WandaVision. And then we'll have Eli Bradley as Patriot. We'll have Ironheart, Riri Williams. Who else was it? Let's see. Who else am I missing?
We need like an
Miss Marvel
X-23 character in there.
That would be dope.
That would be fire.
But Miss Marvel, America Chavez,
yeah,
and Kid Loki,
I believe are
some of the Young
Kid
Avengers
Loki,
series.
the GOAT, man.
Yeah, so I believe those are some of the Young Avengers that are slated to possibly be in the series, with, of course, Haley Steinfeld being the main character.
Yeah.
Next up being a Mephisto special. Mephisto again.
Bro, we've been talking about Mephisto since like 2020, man.
2021, with WandaVision. So he's already pretty much confirmed to be in Ironheart. So
yeah, Sacha, what's his name?
Sacha Baron Cohen.
Yeah, Cohen.
Yeah, to be playing Mephisto.
Maybe,
so
hopefully,
be kind of dope. Next up is an Abomination special. Interesting one.
I don't know about
They're
all
really
that.
relying on the specials at this point.
I don't know how I feel about it.
Again,
I feel like a lot of these characters could use movies.
I agree. I don't think Abomination.
I think even a show. Actually, I'm not going to say that show will be better than the special because I enjoyed the specials they put out.
Mm-hmm.
I think you can put almost everything you need to in about an hour.
Yeah. So we'll see with that. Next up being the Conqueror special, which will serve as the origin of Kang and showing how he came to be.
Yeah, we'll need to see that for sure.
I don't know if it's going to take place between Kang Dynasty and Secret Wars or right before Kang Dynasty, but that as well.
All right.
Next up is a reported Illuminati series, which honestly could be a movie as well. So
yeah,
it's very possible.
I feel like that should be a movie too.
I would be very hyped. Next up, as well, we talked about this a little bit earlier, being the World War Hulk movie, which will take place right before Avengers: Secret Wars.
That's what we need.
That's beautiful.
That's what I'm most hyped about.
And this is if, and I think they will. Universal gets the rights to Hulk back as well, and Namor probably.
Dude,
too.
I saw today that it would be 2 years.
So that would be perfect timing.
2 years, yeah, they'll have full rights.
That'd be perfect timing. All right, next up, we actually got some reported news. This could all be wrong, so take it with a grain of salt. But Phase 7 projects reportedly in development. This being the next saga. Reported possibly the Mutant Saga.
How old am I going to be during Phase 7?
It's the same about 2027 is when it's going to start. So
I'll be about 27 then.
Yeah, you would be. All right, this being starting off with the Power Pack series, and this being about Marvel's Power Pack, another superhero team.
Power Pack, bro. Who are the Power Packs?
It's another team. Another one is Secret Warriors series. Another group.
I've never heard of them either.
They're bringing in a lot of new stuff. Next up is a Namor movie in Phase 7, getting his own movie, which I think would fit well.
Yeah.
Next up is an X-Men movie. Long overdue. Definitely welcome. Then we have an Agents of Atlas series possibly in the development. Another new group they're bringing in a lot of new characters.
Sounds like a bunch of L's if you ask me.
Well, you don't even know who they are.
It's a lot of new stuff being done.
It's just new. I mean, this is years from now after Secret Wars. So
true.
Bring in the new stuff. And then a Photon series, which Photon's Monica Rambeau. So it'd be a Monica Rambeau series.
Okay.
Yes. Then Black Panther 3 would be in this phase. And then next up, Kit Harington coming in Black Knight series.
Right, he's gonna be old by then. Dang.
Black Knight series, and then we're getting a 10 Ring series, which has already been theorized to be in development anyway. And then finally, a Doctor Doom special to round it off. These are all theories. All theories. Take it with a grain of salt. These are just reported.
Namor survives. Shuri survives. Monica Rambeau survives the fight.
That's what we know from now. Okay. Well, we don't know if Shuri survives because we got new T'Challa, remember?
Yeah,
so,
but if
spoilers.
he's taking the age, though, you know what I'm saying? He might only be like 15 or 16.
True.
I don't know.
So we'll see what happens with that. But more than likely, that makes sense that Namor would survive, and then Monica Rambeau and all these other characters, Black Knight and stuff like that. But honestly, it's super dope just to see and theorize about new series and possibilities, which could not be possible. But I'm excited nonetheless for what's coming up in the coming years.
Alright, guys, if you enjoyed this episode, let us know by giving us a review and a download. Our podcast, Here's in the Moment, is available on all major podcast platforms, so check us out. Speaking of, our latest episode was our Guardians of the Galaxy holiday special, so we just covered that, so go ahead and check it out. And if you want to stay up to date on all of our news, our updates, our announcements, check out our socials. Here's in the Moment with Next T, and Here's in the Moment on Instagram.
Yes, we just want to thank you all for listening. And as always, we love you 3000.